Alright, well, I'm gonna get straight to the point because, quite frankly, 2019 changed my entire life, and the things that happened in the last 365 days, honestly, I would have never thought possible in a million years. So let's start with the bad, and then we'll get into the fun part of this video. Oh God, what a way to start the year, am I right? 4 days. Wait, it was like 6 days after the start of 2019, your boy got arrested. Yep. I went to jail. Obviously, this is one of the lower parts of my entire life, much less 2019, but I think that's expected. But what came out of it might have ended up being good. However, going to jail completely changed every aspect of my 2019. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but the second bad thing that happened at the very beginning of 2019 was I lost some people. I lost the trap house, as it once was called. Long story short, we moved out. This house that we lived in for 2 years that I had the most fun of my entire life in was gone. All those memories, just being around people all the time, just the vibe of being happy and whatnot was gone. By choice. It wasn't like, oh, we had to split up. It was a good split and we wanted to live alone for a second. But living alone comes with being alone. A lot more than I had ever been. This year was definitely the most time I'd ever spent by myself. And you know me, because of that, I was always in my thoughts. And sometimes getting in your thoughts when you are alone all the time is not necessarily the most healthy thing. I'm not saying I was sad this year, it was just hard to adjust. All throughout my entire life, I've always been surrounded by friends or family, and this is the first time I had to face being alone. Not super alone, I had friends, I had my girlfriend over here a lot, I've lived right next to Colby and Jake, so it wasn't that bad. I'm ready to come back and live with other friends. Alright, so now let's talk achievements. I don't want to brag, but hey, what's the point of a good year if you can't talk about it at least once, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's roll back to the very beginning of the year while we're still living in the trap house. The Sam and Colby channel just randomly blew up. We got our first ever viral video. Then we got our second viraler video. We ended up there for a couple months averaging over 4 million views per video. That alone is insane, but just for stats purposes, on my personal channel, I accumulated almost 100 million views. And then on Sam and Colby, we accumulated over 200 million views, which helps me gain over 600,000 subscribers on my personal channel and over 1.7 million subscribers on the Sam and Colby channel, so thank you very much. Speaking of YouTube, this year we switched over to series-based content, and that meant me spending a ton of hours editing, which is a great thing and a bad thing, but you guys have seen what has come of all that work, and all those edits and hours forming those mini movies that we published on YouTube ended up landing us on the trending page. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. But not only did YouTube recognize us for our content and how much it grew, but also the people recognized our content. We ended up winning a Streamy Award for Action Series, the Catalyst Award for Breakout Creator, and a Teen Choice Award for Choice YouTuber of 2019, which we got to speak on live television for the first time, which that was awesome. Even though we didn't even realize when we won that award that day. But 2019 was not just about YouTube. We've been doing YouTube for a long time. So although, yeah, all this success was absolutely crazy, I think even a crazier part of 2019 was the places that it took us beyond YouTube. Craziest of all those places was Hawaii. One of the most insane experiences of my entire life happened in 2019, and although we haven't talked to you about it yet, it's because we're making something special for you guys. And in 2020, you guys are gonna hear what happened at Hawaii. I know that's very vague, but just believe me, something big is about to happen. And I ended up even going to Pennsylvania to this place called Centralia and shooting our first ever Snapchat show series. That series was called Stranded, and it was the very first piece of produced content we've ever made, and it was the first series that we'd ever created that was not on YouTube. What was so insane about 2019 is that Snapchat didn't tell us that they were gonna hardcore promote this around the United States. We had pictures of our faces everywhere. All of our friends were sending us Snapchats of like California, Texas, Florida, and like New York. All these places had our faces on posters. And speaking of promotion, we got this crazy real life recognition and ended up being able to be on TV stations like Fox, E! News, People Magazine, Access Hollywood, Tiger Beat, Yahoo, Forbes, Variety, and a bunch of other articles all around. It was just a surreal year. And then what I believe to be my greatest accomplishment of 2019, something I've been working on for many, many years, finally we were able to release Medellin. You guys probably heard me ranting about this all the time, but Medellin is our judgment-free community that we teach our audience all the crazy life lessons that school doesn't teach you. And quite frankly, it was very successful comparatively to what I thought was gonna happen, and the amount of support was unreal. The amount of people that backed up this idea, even our friends and family, and especially you guys who were so receptive of the idea and supportive of it, was phenomenal. It just made me so happy. Not only the fact that this project that we've been working on for so many years was finally released, but it gave me an opportunity to finally do something good with this social media platform. Like yeah, chasing ghosts is hilarious, making the stupid videos are great, but it made me feel like I was actually making a difference, gave me some purpose. And just a side note for you guys, in 2020 we are looking into options to try to bring free help to the rest of the audience, because we hear ya. So yeah, in a nutshell, 2019 blew my mind. It was by far, in almost every aspect of my life, the most successful year of my life, by like tenfold. But that's more from like a business perspective, from my career perspective. But at the end of the day, all these accomplishments are just words. They're numbers or happenings. And in reality, I'm just a dude. You know, I'm trying to figure out life just like everybody else. So beyond all the accomplishments and the numbers, I wanted to talk a little bit about the most important thing that happened this year. And that's what all of this craziness has taught me. Oh God, sometimes I hate myself because I just think so much. Like, this is who I am, all right? Sometimes I feel like my mind is just not wired the same way, and I always like go into this deep, I don't know, rut. But hey, that's, I guess, just who I am. Anyway, let's dive into the mind of Sam and what 2019 has taught me. And the first thing starts with the cement wall and the ticking clock while I'm sitting there in jail. That will forever be burned into my memory. Because throughout life, yeah, I've gone through some struggles, but in that moment, everything, all my happiness of my life or my success, was taken from me. Yeah, I guess I was only in there for less than 24 hours, but it just taught me that everything you love could be taken from you in a second. Just like that, I could lose everything. So, 2019 taught me that life is short. I learned that it's not worth it to hold grudges or to wake up on the wrong side of the bed because something happened yesterday. Because at the end of the day, everything I have now is only for right now. So I have to live it up while I can. And number two is funny. I learned a lot from finishing the show How I Met Your Mother. And don't let anybody tell you, but that ending is phenomenal. I know I'm gonna get roasted in the comments, but that ending taught me so much about life. And it's weird to learn life lessons from a sitcom, but again, I think I just think a little weird, and that's how I learned my life lessons. Now, Ted from How I Met Your Mother taught me a lot of cool life lessons, but the main thing that I took away from it is that time changes everything. Let the universe take you where it needs to go. Just live. I'm just a human. How the heck am I supposed to know like how everything's gonna work out? I'm not. We are meant to be human. We are meant to fail. We are meant to love, to be mad, to be sad, to be embarrassed, to be reckless, and do whatever we want, because that is the definition of being human. I feel like, especially the more I get into business in this social media career, I feel like so many things are planned and I want things to go a certain way, and because I can create a video, I want to create my own life, and that's just not how things work. And I know it's stupid to sit back and think that I learned that from a TV show in my goddamn living room, but that's just how it is, you know? You learn things weird ways. You fall and like you fail, and quite frankly, you just live life and you deal with the consequences. And that's something that I've never really been able to let myself do until this year. So finally, the most important thing that I learned this year is this. All the time, and I know I'm not alone, or at least I hope I'm not alone, I think about this idea of the meaning of life. And the first thing that always pops in my mind, especially recently in 2019, has been the idea of giving life. And I truly believe that that has become my purpose here. I think my purpose is to give as much life to everybody as I possibly can. Yes, that means other people, that at the same time giving a life to myself as well. To me, that could be a bunch of different ways, even down to making friends or having experiences or giving laughter or teaching or growing with those closest to me. Because at the end of all of it, life isn't solely about just happiness. It's about the full life picture, you know, experiences, happiness, sadness, friends, perspective, the whole thing. And that's why I think the most important thing that I've learned this year is that I am absolutely nothing without the people around me. I want nothing more than to give as much as I can to your experience. Yeah, my friends were amazing, my girlfriend, my family, my supporters. I truly do love you all, and I do want to say sincerely thank you for making this the greatest year of my life. Adios.